Hey, how y'all doing? People always tell me that I should, write a book, about my life, since I like to talk so much. So here's one of my books that I have not written yet, but you could call this a book or the story. It's more like it. So I'm gonna take y'all back when I was, super young. It all started in Greenville, Mississippi, back when I was born. Okay, I was born August 25th, 1984. Okay, up on the Kindle to Harper, I probably weigh 4 pounds, probably 6 ounces. So, as a kid, kids really don't know too much, about the light or what the light become. So when I was growing up, I knew they, have too much knowledge. I grew up on the poor side. Had to struggle to even get through. Sometimes I remember as a kid that I used to stay out store all because I didn't have the money because my family was so poor we could barely afford things. Like most kids, enjoy Christmas, have a good Christmas. But me, I quite didn't have that while growing up. It's always been kind of bad. But my grandparents made sure that I had a good Christmas on both sides. But back in 2023, when I lost my greatest person to me, I was my grandma. But she always did believe in me, ever since I was a kid. She always used to tell me that I'm gonna become something great or I'm gonna become something real good, with my art skills. So I've been honing my skill with my art and my basketball. That I, played for college for a few minutes, and maybe I tried to play for high school, but the coach judging me and think I wasn't good enough because I was in special resources class. So I worked my butt off for the last past years since I was living in Greenville. So I worked my butt off to prove that I do belong, that I am a somebody than a nobody. So I wanted to prove to the world how good I was. But I needed to have the opportunity, to show anybody how good I was in basketball or how good my artwork is. But like I showed a lot of people, like I entered, a small art contest, while I was living in Mississippi. I actually came in first place with Blue Ribbon. I only entered it one time, but the second time I got cheated out. They said the line was too good on my drawing. It looked too good. So then they gave they gave the ribbon and the trophy to somebody else who deserved it. Well, I'm happy for them, that they won and stuff. But I feel like I deserved it all because all my life I've been told that I cannot do too much of things. That I was nobody. People used to always bully me, used to always pick on me, talk about me all the time. And it used to hurt me. I thought about suicide myself one time before because I thought, I ain't had no meaning to life. But then my granny always told me that it is some meaning to life. It is something I want to do. So I used to, cry myself to sleep, sometimes because I had nobody to talk to or no one to listen to. So I started watching this show called American Got Talent. I started, to go there, tell them my story so they could, maybe they can help me reach something where people told me so I couldn't. All my life I've been told I was a failure. I've become a nobody. You know, I grew up, in a small city without nothing. So I kind of figured that was right. So I used to, call myself sleep like I had a girlfriend before, but she cheated on me and used me and took everything I had, even though I went through all of it, just to support her. But I still feel like, still feel like my job is yet finished. I almost lost my life by 3 times. And they called me Romeo when I was walking home. I was homeless a few years ago, with nowhere to go, nowhere to live. And then I was in and out the motel. I was walking in the rain, pouring down, even in the snow. And then I slept outside. The people told me to get out the motel twice. I couldn't sleep inside, where the washroom was when it was pouring down rain outside. It was super cold. And then I slept in the car about almost a year right before I even got back on my feet again. So it took me a while. So I'm working like this part-time job at Emberton Suites right now. Still trying to achieve a lot. So far so good. I've been doing okay, but I still feel like I could have did more because I did have dreams, a lot of dreams. Then it still hurt me, to this day that I feel like I failed still. Like it does not matter of what I get, no matter how I achieved it. But the point is, my point is That I still feel like I failed though. I made a promise to my grandfather that I would do great, that I would become a somebody. It's always my life, you know, always been my dream, become better than the best, because I'm very good at art. I always have been, since I was a kid. It didn't turn out good what it was at first. I had trouble with it. My friend used to always draw better than me, named Ernest Taylor. He was the best artist, so I learned from him by tracing his picture over and over again. So eventually, I learned how to draw from the best. So I started drawing from there. That's how I ended up, now I draw so well. So it's in there, I've been honing my skills, been practicing day in, day out, and practicing on how to color real good. So I eventually master it, but not fully, master the, complete drawing as in the portrait. But I could draw people, but not as good as a professional would. But I'm still great at it, though. I still been honing my skills, from time to time. So I've been working, getting my butt out, trying to get back to how I was. But before I even, reach anything, I was walking, for the last past year straight. And then my grandma, when she passed away, that was what hurted me the most, more than anything in the world. To this day, I still cry, about what I lost. So I was just about to give up. It took me almost 2 or 3 weeks just to get my hair screwed on straight. It really did hurt me when my grandma died. She was the most important person to me in the whole entire world. When I felt like giving up, she was there for me to cheer me up. So I never, had to change, to prove to everybody how good I was or how great I am, because people would doubt me my whole life. They never did tell me I couldn't do that, I couldn't do that. So remember, you would never achieve this, you would never do that. But like I had people tell me I was a failure, not my nobody. All because I was in special resource classes way back then. So what I did was I honed my knowledge by going to the library every day and trying to hone my knowledge to learn even more. So I spent majority of my time in the library to read thousands of books to learn like 1,000 things, so I could prove to everybody that anyone, if everything everybody else did do, I could do it too. But I put a little bit of effort and a little bit of hard work. I kept going and try to reach it, but I feel like I ain't going nowhere. One time when I came close, it was a call, from the Memphis Grizzlies. One time when I called up there, I still remember. It was not too long ago. It would happen long before, I even moved to Michigan right there with my grandparents. So I was like, okay, let me try, and that's what the time when the Grizzlies said they needed people. And I would think like, wait, I said, I'm a good basketball player. I said, time to prove to everybody how great I'm is. After I've been practicing so hard for so many years. See, the story about basketball is I hold my skills since I was a little bitty kid. My uncle, my grandfather, and most of my cousins there, they're all into sports and play video games. They always, bring their best effort, having them pay for college, this and that. But me, I've been honing my skill, through hard training, through groundbreaking training. I did it the old-fashioned way, by going outside, just shooting on the globe every day, take out of school to sun up to sundown. And no matter if it's snow outside, no matter if it rain outside, I just try to hone my skill because I feel like that was the best way I could help my family, And I thought I was the one who can, so I try to carry the weight on my own. But my big brother, he was always pick on me all the time. He'd take my stuff, sell it. And then he used to make fun of me, talk about me very bad. It make me feel some kind of way, make me feel like I'm a nobody. Even though I'm already feeling worse, he turns anger towards me because of the way he felt about my daddy and my family and them. He tried to compare me to them, but I'm not them. So every time he get drunk or something, him and my uncle push their anger towards me. It make me feel sad in the inside. Make me feel like it's all my fault. So I feel like while I'm here, then people will blame me for everything. So I've been thinking, what should I do? And I haven't been coming up with nothing. I try to get my life, back like it was. So my best friend Enrico, he told me, he said, Ramo, that maybe you should try to write a book about your life or tell people a story about your life. I said, how can I do that, Rico? Nobody don't listen. So I thought about this one thing, how I could do it. I thought about if I go on, American You Got Talent, I had to tell people about my life story, what all I've been through, and how much it hurts me, for people to call me a failure, even though I'm trying my best. So I've been practicing after practicing, been honing my basketball skill and my art skill for so long, but I haven't, show the world how great I was. So when I did have that opportunity, I sacrificed it for my mama, for the basketball. So I never did, had opportunity to go to New Jersey for 4 years to hone my art skill. I made a sacrifice for my family, so I didn't go, even though I could have became famous right now. But I thought about my family. I said, what if I leave and they need me? Then this and that. So I stood back trying to help them. But sometimes, I do call myself sleep sometimes. I still do, be thinking about it. So I'm watching it show American Got Talent, how how they help so many people, who try to commit suicide. They saved a lot of people. They is the real heroes. Cause even though when everybody doubted them, people who got bullied, people they listen to people's song and that's what people say. Even though they come and say not to sing, but they listen to their story, and that was enough, for people to. That's enough to try to get the world to see them for not or what they is or what they have, to accept them and try to send a message out to the world, tell them they need to do this to make changes for the better, for us. Because everybody not born with money, Some people, born without nothing. Some people don't got mom or dad. That's why people, do the things they do because they go through hard times. And they feel like the only thing, the best way they know how to do is kill and take, because it's the only thing they do while growing up. I don't blame that. Sometimes when you lose a lot, it'll run you crazy and make you forget everything that you want, that you learn. Sometimes the most important thing is just to remember everything what your grandparents taught you, or your mom taught you, or your dad taught you. You should never give up. But sometimes even that not even enough. So that's why people, make music and put how the way they feel into their song, so people can listen to them. Then when people listen to them, and that's when they start to see that make change people's life. Some people struggle and can't afford nothing, but they put it through their music. So if I could understand their pain and what they lost and how they got that far, they know what it took to get that far, or how it was at first. I'm not gonna lie, I still remember we lived in a rooming house, not right across the street from my granddad as a kid. We got taken away from our mom about 3 times when we were little. And once see my mom and daddy never did was in my life like that. But then when he was never around. He mistreated. He never did, care too much about me and my sister. He always did, cared a lot about my brother everything. But he never bought me and my sister too much or nothing like that. Like when I got older, he did, but he only bought just a little bit. But I still feel, like when I was growing up, my sister brother had everything. I ain't had nothing. So I felt all alone, I felt like nobody didn't like me like that. I felt like a failure. I feel like I would never became nothing. I would never do nothing. Because people would tell me that my whole entire life. So I used to, cry about it. And then, so I eventually, gave up and started honing my skills, because people used to tell me I was a failure. So even though I still got, my art skills, even though I still do draw, everything, but I still cannot prove it to nobody because nobody don't listen, or I can't show nobody how good of me is. They had the opportunity, I hesitated. Because I was afraid. I thought maybe I was not good enough. But everybody else told me I was good enough. They believe in me. I thought maybe I could become something. But then the doubts in my head started creeping in when my auntie told me, you probably, she said, you probably can do it. Or she disbelieved in me at first. She really did. So I was like, okay. So I felt a little bit, salty about that. Being outside being in the cold is no fun, especially when it's snowing. My hand was so cold I couldn't even feel them. My feet were like ice. I had to sleep with a little thin blanket. Even though I did have the cold, I still was super cold. Everybody didn't even treat me like I was a person. They treated me like I was trash on the street. like a yesterday trip what you throw out. I know the feeling, to lose everything. I lost weight too many times. And a lot of people who were precious to me. But these days I'm not gonna be here. But the YouTube video will always so y'all can hear my words so y'all can understand. Don't y'all ever forget my name. It's Ramo Peacock. Don't y'all ever forget it. It's the story, about my life, how the way I lived it. And to this day, I still don't have, too much of them. Sometimes me and my family we go 5 or 6 weeks without eating, sometimes 10, sometimes even a month without eating. Sometimes it hurts, because when you ain't got nobody, depend on or too much of a help like that, when you all by yourself, when you're helping your people, it passed away or deceased, there's nothing you to do. Because even your real people, even though you try to get in contact with them, they treat you like you are nobody. So the only thing you can do is rely on yourself and rely on a little bit of family that you have. That's it. So one of these days, y'all gonna look back on the YouTube video. Y'all gonna see what I always be saying about my life. I may not be here anymore. But I just want y'all to share my word to people. Tell people, stop with the hurting people. Just treat people right. Because you won't never know, what's gonna happen to you. Because the world will not always be here all the time. One day the world gonna be gone. There won't be nobody here. So everything you're doing, other people gonna come back. They'll come back a lot worse. Now really sure take pride to where y'all get and be around the people that y'all love, because they always not gonna be here all the time. They go for me or anybody. I realized that in a very young age, I've seen a lot of stuff happen before my eyes. I almost lost my life about 4 times. And then the only thing I said when I was standing there, I said, well, God, this how I said, well, I guess my growth finally ends here. But then God woke me up and said, no, Ramo, your word don't end here. So I ended up dodging the car right before he had the chance to even touch me. I almost lost my life. God saved me 3 times. I mean, exactly 3 times. He saved me and told me I still got much to live for. My work here is yet unfinished. So how can I support people? I ain't got no power to do it. And people always disbelieve in me or putting me down all the time. And you know how people start talking about you and always dissing you all the time? What can you do? Sometimes you should just forget about what people say. But it's very hard to do people when people keep on saying it over and over and over again. So this is my message to you and to the world. When y'all do go American, when y'all do go into a show, or y'all had the opportunity one day to show the world what y'all can do, don't never forget about where you come from or the people around you. Because those people, the one who are around you, those people, the reason why you got so far, where you became nothing. When you wasn't nobody, those people still believe in you, even just a little bit. But when you go to one of these shows and just see the word and one day you become famous, make sure you never forget where you come from. And make sure y'all go out and help people. Because that's what Jesus would have did. That's what Jesus did for all of us. Because when I was a kid, that was things that I was taught, I was taught, I would do the right thing. I would help people. So I stand on what I said, but I still feel like, even though I did help a whole lot of people, I still feel like, it wasn't enough. I still feel like okay, I did that, but then God, blessed me little by little. I feel like, what is that for me to do here? So I still got a long way to go. So I would think about, going to American You Got Talent to tell them my story, how the way, my life is. So I talked to this Lyft driver on the way home. He told me, that was such a good idea. Now I'm like, okay. I said, maybe I should, go on there, tell my life story, what I've been through. I'm not much of a singer or nothing. I don't dance or nothing. But I do draw very, very well. So I was going to draw each one of the judges a picture to signify their personality and how the way I feel about them and what they did for many others. See, y'all don't get it. They saved a lot of people from themselves and from the people who hurted them. They made the people who hurted them look very sad and make them feel guilty how the way they did people. They are the real heroes. Even though, some people who were better than them, but they still helped a lot of people. They made a difference, throughout the world. Some people, didn't what the world was. Some people grew up with hard times, so they share their songs with them to show them that, show the world how the way they feel, no matter if it's a relationship or what. But they listen to them, because that's the only way people will listen. If you go somewhere big, they ain't have no choice but to listen, because the words come out of your mouth is true. I was watching American Talent the other day, but a little girl was fighting with cancer, but she said she ain't kind of sure to win. She was telling her life story. They were very sad. They made me cry a lot, because they made me thought back, to my life, and then they made me thought back when I was a kid. So I look back on all that, I was like, dang. I said, come to think about it, and then I felt, and I see how the way everybody, felt, sorry for the girl. I do too, because I had a lot of people in my family, die for cancer as well. It really sad, but it is a cure for it. It was invented many years ago, centuries ago, long before we were here. But like some of us was here, but not, maybe our grandparents or our great grandparents were here when the cure was invented. But the government locked it away and put it for classified. Because a long time ago, the dude white, she had cancer, so he was a scientist. So he got a sample of her blood. So it did went away just a little bit, but then it came right back. So he come over running testing until he got it right. So he perfected it. And then when he went this time, it didn't come back at all. It was cured. But when the dude passed away, the government had took his equipment and made it classified throughout the world. But I believe everybody deserves a second chance, If they got such tools and such antidote to help people, they should use it to support the people that actually need. They could have saved a whole bunch of lives that versus just letting them die. I wish I had that kind of power. I would do what's right for other people and try to support the people around me. Because that's what God would want it. I'm pretty sure one day I may not be here, but y'all may be still here. But when the world come close to the end, y'all gonna start seeing a whole lot of stuff to change. Then y'all gonna start to see the world begin to shrink. Get bigger and smaller. Things around you may not even exist anymore. It begin to come to that point, as you can see it, because as time go on, things get more advanced. It can come in more expensive. As life go on, so the year get older. Every time the year change, things get higher, price get higher, and they become a lot more than usual. You know what? The Bible predicted something like this. What happened? It began to come to wishing, So I was born, into a Christian family, and I believe in, in the Bible, because that's the only thing I know. So when I was reading the Bible, I read the whole entire Bible, from verse to verse. So I was sitting there looking, so I was sitting there thinking, like, if I ever built a time machine, I would go back to 2,000 years ago. Then my friend asked me, said, why would I do that? So me and him were calculating when to pinpoint, where Jesus was alive. And I was telling him, I said, if you want to calculate, the time from the dinosaurs, when the meteor had hit the earth, for the time the earth had, re-evolved, right before the ocean got split into 4 equal halves. So you divide that time after the ice age, then you do the evolution of that, and then you have the millions, because ice age falls in BC, because that's the ice age. We're still kind of like dinosaur time, but it's after the dinosaur time, when the earth been frozen over centuries. So about some years later, all the ice had began to melt. Then came the evolution of the humans, So Jesus came after the ice age, because it's 2000 BC. If dinosaurs were here 5.6 million years ago, and then you got to think about that. So you got to think about the dinosaur when the meteor had hit the earth. Then you got to think about the ice age, because ice age came after. So once you bypass ice age, you're in the 2000 BC. And then you watch the movies and you check it carefully. You're like, okay, this in BC. So that's 2,000 years right there. You count back. So that's 2,000 years ago from the ice age. So you go back 2,000 years ago, Jesus Christ right there. You would see him physically, the real Jesus. Y'all may not believe it, but it's true. Back when the earth was still young. So I thought about that, many years ago. Me and my friend were talking about that. I still remember I was working at KFC. That was funny. But now, I discovered today that someone figured out through science when they find Jesus Christ. What's it called? I don't know, crib. Crib. And then they said Jesus Christ was over 2,000 years old. I said, ain't this about something? I started calling some of my friends. I said, ain't that about something? I said, they found Jesus Christ, road. And then they said over 2,000 years old. I said, that's a coincidence. I knew that somehow. Sometimes God's come to you and give you the power to see the future, even though you don't know the future. He come to y'all for a reason, to support others. He come to y'all in many different forms. Because I'm going to tell y'all this story. One time, me and my friend, who was in the store, right? My friend said, Raymond, I don't get that much money for pieces. I like me either. I said, I got enough for one. If we tried to get 2 pieces, so I could feed my family. And then he was like, man, he said, I wish we had some more money. So we were standing in line. We ordered we was in line so we could order the pizza. It was this old man. He had walked into the store. Then he looked at me and my best friend's face. Then he took a big roll of money out. I still remember. Then he counted out like $10. So I was telling that, people at the counter that the dude left $10. And the people said, what man? And I'm like, well, I said, y'all see that man was in here? I said, he was literally right there at the calendar, counting out $10. I said, I looked at him and my friend like, yeah, we saw him. So we went outside, tried to find him and could we try to return the money? But we ain't see nobody. We searched everywhere. We asked the dude one who was sitting in that car. He seen someone across the store. He said, nah. I ain't seen nobody come out of no store. He said, what y'all talking about? So me and my friend looked at each other. He's like, you don't think that? I said, I think that was Jesus. I said, because I was telling him, because we always helping people. Always doing so much for people. I said, maybe Jesus wanted to help us out because we help others. Because that's what he really wants for us, So I will never forget that day. I will really remember that. To this day, I still feel like, Jesus be coming to me sometimes. And be talking to me sometimes in my sleep. Be telling me, to keep doing good. So I'm keep on doing good. So I hope y'all enjoy this message what I had sent. So I'm gonna try to go to America and Got Talent one day. It probably will be before this year out. I just want to be heard so people can understand what I've been through for so many years. And all the pain I got built up inside, I just want to let it out. So talk to the world so they can understand. I just want y'all to know my story, my life, and what I've been through. Sometimes not easy, Just doing things on your own. It's very extremely hard. Remember, it's out.